There's Jade.
Hey, welcome, everybody. It must be Thursday night. Welcome to Lindy's Treehouse. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hi, Kramer. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good considering I'm not in the air. Otherwise, I'm doing great. I was
Yes,
in the
we.
air this morning, so I'm doing great.
Oh, Yeah, I want to hear your story. That you did. Well, you did get to do some kiting or flying a little bit, right?
Yeah, I flew this morning.
Yeah. So you can talk about that. You'll talk about that. Hi, everybody in the chat. Welcome. We uh, we got all our chatters in the chat. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. It is Thursday, but it's not just Thursday. It is. I got my notes here. Everybody. It is Thankful Thursday. That's what it is. I call it Thankful Thursday. So every last Thursday of the month, we're gonna do a Thankful Thursday. And because August is almost done, and we can talk about what we're thankful like for August, what you are thankful for. You can put it in the chat. What you're thankful for the month, and I'll tell you what I'm thankful for the month of August. And I have some little quotes here because you know me on Facebook, I always put positive things on there and positive quotes and everything. So this is how I thought these were really cool. So the first one is be thankful for everything that happens in your life. It's all an experience. And you know, it's like you take the good with the bad, right? And you just kind of go with it. And so I just think all the stuff that I've been through, it only made me stronger to deal with things because every day is different, right? And some days you're going to have good days, some days you're going to have bad days. So it's taught me how to be a better person. And then I went on to the next one, and it says we must find time to stop and thank people who make a difference in our lives. And that is so important to me because everybody wants to feel appreciated. And I appreciate you, Kramer,
I
and
appreciate
everything you
you.
do with the show. Helping me on this on my show and everything. I appreciate my chatters that really been supporting me here and encouraging me to do this live stream, which I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I'm going to do it, kind of thing. And so it's cool, and the journey's not over yet. It's gosh, it's cool. So, and I'm thankful I have all you guys here on Thursday nights with me. And so, what I want to know in the chat, you guys, I want to just put something in there and just say, I appreciate you. Put some in the chat that say somebody's name or whatever. I appreciate you. Just do that for me. See? I appreciate you. So you got to put in there, I appreciate, and just put a name in there, whether it be somebody in the chat, a family member, a friend. Just throw in the chat and say, I appreciate my mom. I appreciate my friend down the street. So you can put something in the chat. I want to see some of your answers or whatever. Because tonight we're just we're just going to talk about being thankful and who appreciates what you appreciate in life and all that. And what did Scuba say? You can read the what Scuba said, Kramer.
Oh, okay. I was answering him.
Oh,
I think. Hang on 1 second. Let me finish typing this
okay.
so I can send it. Scuba. Oh, hi, Deweese. I didn't see Deweese sneak in.
Hi, Weezy. I love you, girl.
Let me look back. So Bill H asked me if I had a video of my flight.
Okay.
I sort of do.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
only on flight 23, so until flight 25, the instructors video every launch and landing because we critique it afterwards. So I have a
Yeah.
video of the launch and the landing and the kiting practice, the taxi with the
Okay.
wing practice this morning.
Okay.
But I don't have any actual flight video because I don't have a GoPro.
What are they
And
saying? What were they saying in the chat about the about what they appreciate? Because people,
oh,
you can maybe read so people that can't see the chat or whatever, they can what everybody is saying. I appreciate. I love all your answers.
Scuba said he appreciates the folks in the South.
Very
He
okay.
and
Okay.
Bill H is glad he's glad for his health.
Amen.
Um, and then let's see.
Yeah, keep
John
those.
Wayne appreciates Viterazzi. Here, here. I agree with that.
I love it. I
And
love
Bill
it.
H appreciates John Wayne. Scuba appreciates his parapeeps. So
I love that.
we got a lot of appreciation out there. I appreciate
Yeah,
Lone Star Paramotor and for getting me in the sky, and all of the paramotor community for being so supportive.
that's right. That's right. We're and you know it is. We're the para community. We're like family.
Yeah,
And you guys, you all are my family. You know, people in the chat, and that's you, that's what I love about the sport because every person that I meet is always a new friend. You know,
yeah,
and that's why I love to encourage guests to come on here so that they can meet new people, you know, and make new friends and all that. Just like when you're in school, right? Remember how scared you were on your first day of school and you really didn't know anybody and you're trying to make a friend and there was nothing like, you know, getting off that bus with your buddy, you know. So, okay, read what
Jade said she's thankful for another sunrise and sunset, her friends, and to get rid of people that are drama, and very thankful for Eric. Oh, that Eric made it through a peaceful IV treatment today, and she appreciates her family. And Scuba was being a smart aleck and said he would appreciate me showing the launch and landing videos. I'll probably end up putting them on TikTok and Instagram. So
put them
the
in your
kids,
YouTube. Put them on
well,
your, what is it like? What
oh
you, because you
yeah,
got your YouTube
I
going.
got my YouTube channel
Yeah.
going, so I could try to post them on my YouTube now.
Yeah, you guys, have you subscribed to Kramer's YouTube channel yet? Because she does have a YouTube channel, so y'all got to get on there and subscribe to it. Weezy, I hope you're feeling better. I know you guys were under the weather. That's that's no fun. I'm just, gosh, I appreciate all of you. Um, you know, something really special happened last night. I have to do a shout out. I got a DM from Susan Ray. You know who Susan Ray is from Aurora PPG. And she said, I'm receiving, she goes, you send me something. She goes, I am receiving the Milstead Friendship Award of the Year. And that just, I'm so excited about it. Because she said, because I've been so supportive of the paramotor and PPG, the community, you know, the community and everything. And I literally started crying when I saw that because, you know, it just I'm just that way. Just those little things, you know, and that's what this is about feeling appreciated. And I did not expect that at all. And I want to thank you all. Hi, Michelle. Welcome, hon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're staying off that ankle. Michelle got married. Michelle got married last year, and her husband Randy is a truck driver, and he's an awesome dude. And we've all become really good friends, and I check on Michelle, I just see how she's doing since she uh, broke her ankle when she was working with her doggies and everything, and it happens. And so I check on her, and Randy. Yeah, Randy's a good friend of mine. I actually knew him before I even met Michelle. So and they live in Mississippi, I think. Right, Michelle? You live in Mississippi. So I said, I'll give you something to do and you can come watch my show. So she did. And welcome, Michelle. She's a sweetheart.
Welcome, Michelle. And Scuba just subscribed to my YouTube channel.
See?
He did. Thank you, Scuba. Thank you. I tried to put my YouTube channel and then go down a line so you could just pick it up. But I hit enter and it came up, and then Scuba was like blank, and I'm like, no, further down it shows it's actually all uppercase PPG and then a dot, uppercase G for gypsy and spell out gypsy, but just the G is uppercase, and then dash Kramer with an uppercase K. It's kind of long, but I tried to just make PPG gypsy and it buckled on me, so I put PPG gypsy dash Kramer so people could tie me in.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you for subscribing. That's awesome. I did post one video as an example, just a trial video on there of one of my something.
Oh, Scott Hill's in the chat. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
He was like co-hosting on Robert's show on Paragliding Talk. I missed you, dude. I missed you. Oh gosh. I'm just like, so yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Scott's he's great. We had more fun on Robert's show, on the after shows and everything. I'm just this is so cool because I appreciate all of you. And also I'll have to say appreciation Randy Aldridge, if you're listening. Thank you, Trucker. Thank you, Trucker. And I always tell him that. I thank him. And kudos to the wives and everything that, when the husbands are on the road trucking and everything, for weeks at a time. I give the wives and girlfriends, whatever, a lot of credit that, that they hold down the fort, while they're truck doing. Well, that's Kramer. You were a truck driver, weren't you?
For a short time. I still have my Class A license. Yeah. I've got I can drive everything except tankers, doubles, triples, and hazmat, but I can drive anything else.
Okay. Well, Michelle, Randy can watch it later. Yeah, just tell him that, and he'll see that I gave a shout out to him because everybody wants to feel appreciated. But yeah, this friendship award, I'm so humbled, and gosh, I got to thank all my girls. I saw that and I was like, I didn't know. I'm like, what? Me? Okay, that is awesome. So as soon as I get it, my package will be here. I'll make sure that when we go live, I'll show you my little award. So that just means so much to me. And what's Dewey saying, Kramer?
She said she's grateful for her friends and family, but mostly she is grateful for her husband who stands next to her through thick and thin. That's an awesome thing to have. Somebody to stand by you. That's a good thing to have for anybody to have.
Yes.
I got a dog who stands by me. Well, sometimes she runs off. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's good. So, where's my phone, Randy?
Okay.
She wants to know where her phone is, Randy.
That's funny. So my next one is, I love it that you guys, that you're all talking in the chat about appreciation, because it's so important, and that friendship of the word thing, that really brought my self-esteem up even more, because it's a battle some days. It's a battle. But the next one is the trick is to be grateful when your mood is high and grateful when it is low. So that's true, right? You know, you have to, sometimes you have to, what they say, take the good with the bad kind of thing, but you have to look on the plus side, right? You know,
You might not always be happy, but you can always be grateful.
yes. Yeah. So I am grateful for everybody here. And yeah, you guys been following my show from day one, and every Thursday we really have a good time. And let's all say, I know it's the next day or whatever, but I'll say happy birthday to Munchkin.
Yeah,
Because
happy
your
birthday,
birthday
Munchkin.
was
Is she
yesterday, right?
is she listening? Yeah.
Because I said
And
happy birthday to her in Jade's chat yesterday. So
Jade
Munchkin, happy birthday.
Jade wants everybody to call Randy because he's lost his cell phone and he's going crazy.
Oh
So if
no.
everybody calls him, it'll ring long enough for him to find it.
Oh no.
Oh, it's dead. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, it just goes to voicemail.
Oh
Sorry, Randy.
shoot.
Too many people called you to help you find it, and now it's dead.
Yeah. Means it's probably, maybe it's laying in the I remember, do you remember when okay, so how many out there, because we'll talk about phones now, flip phones, how many had a flip phone when they first came out?
Yeah.
I did too. I wish I would have kept it. It was just like this big, right?
Yeah, they're tiny. But
Yeah.
my first phone was a Nokia brick. It wasn't really called a brick. I just called it that because I got mad at my boss one day and pitched my phone out the window going down the highway. And the next day I went back and it was in the ditch still working. So I called it a brick.
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember I had went shopping or did something or whatever, and I had my flip phone, and for whatever reason, it fell in the back seat of my car, right? Well, I didn't know that it fell behind there, and I thought I lost it at work, so I was freaking out, and so I had to call and you know. So the day I get my new phone, I'm in the back of my car pulling groceries out, and what comes falling out of the seat?
Your old phone.
My phone.
Yeah, that figures.
Yes, my little flip phone. And that was before, when did the texting start coming out? Probably I wonder the texting because I remember asking Robert what texting meant. You know, when they first when the phones first came out. So pretty interesting how the technology has, you know, now they have it. Have you guys been reading that they, like, if you want to pay for things or whatever, you put your hand over now they're having like hand recognition where you put your hand over the what do I want to call it? The keypad or whatever, the pin pad,
Really?
to pay for things.
The pin pad on your phone or the pin pad at the store?
Started that. Yeah.
Wow, that's getting awful close to the mark of the beast.
Yep. And they talk about that, you know, they've been talking that for a long time, and biblical or otherwise, you know. Yeah. So on the subject of phones, I was reading up on something today, and they call it obsolescence. Obsolescence. I didn't even know what obsolescence meant, so I had to like Google it, and it's the same as obsolete, but obsolescence. So there's a new thing that's going on, I guess, and with the iPhones, and they're making your phones like buffer, and to make you think there's something wrong with the phone, so that you have to take it in, and then the people at the phone place say, "Oh yeah, the phone's not working anymore," and then you're forced to buy a new phone. Or it's a thing that's saying, you know, trying to get you to upgrade. So, and that happens to me, like on my phone, at least once a month, I'll get something on. It'll say, we want to update your phone. I'm like, whatever. And I don't even respond to it. and they do it anyway. They do it anyway. So, with all this AI stuff, yeah, updating, yes, yeah. I don't even have to respond to it, or I'll put on there later or whatever, and then I'll get up, then the next day or when I wake up and it's already, oh, your phone's been updated. They just go ahead and do it now. And I'm always scared when they update it, because it seems like when I get back in my phone, there's more things added,
Yeah.
Okay, use this now. Or maybe I don't want my story to go into my feed. Well, now they're sending anything I put in the story is going into my news feed. And so I know I'm on there all the time. But yeah, so I it's kind of cool. I just kind of go through, Facebook, and I was reading something on my Instagram, and they were talking about this obsolescence or whatever that they're starting to do, that they're doing or whatever. But yeah, it seems like every time, even on Facebook, whatever, they're adding something on there, and I'm always like, maybe I don't want to do that, maybe I don't want to put my picture on there. So Bill said he's watching Kramer's video.
Oh.
She needs more subs. That's right.
I think Bill H was the first one to subscribe to my YouTube channel, but I don't remember who was. I know you subscribed to it.
Oh yeah, already, I did. It took me a minute because I had to type, put everything in the right way, because it's not like Paramount USA. Yeah. Yours was kind of like this PG and capital.
Well, it wouldn't let me put a space. It wouldn't let me put PPG space Gypsy space Kramer. It wouldn't let me do that. So, and there must be 10 billion people named Linda Kramer in the world. So that's why I don't go by Linda. I refuse to answer to it. Everything is Kramer, but there's, so there's so many Kramers. But, oh, thank you, John Wayne. Also subscribe to it. I appreciate that. See? I will post my video on YouTube before I post it anyplace else, because I just use TikTok because the kids on my school bus all use TikTok, and they asked me to post on that.
Yeah, I don't have everybody. TikTok. Yeah, that's one thing I don't. I have the app, but I don't use it.
That's kind of a kid thing. But my school bus, I drove 3-year-olds through 5th grade, so that was the big. That was in with that grade level was TikTok. So I post on there so that all the kids can see my videos up, at the same time. I don't have to pass my phone around.
Bill said you have 168 views on that one video.
Wow.
Look at you, girl.
Oh my goodness. I better get more videos put on there. It took me forever to get that video to go on there.
So I don't know. Can you tell Jade, can you tell, like, before the show and everything, I enhanced I learned, like, because I forgot about that. You go into your camera and you can enhance your features, whatever. So I'm wondering if my face looks softer tonight compared to like last week or whatever. You can tell. Everybody can tell.
Oh, and
I need a lot of enhancement.
So this is what I learned from Scuba's comment last week, is that I can go away and you can't see me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to hang a paper over my camera when I get up.
Oh, no.
Because you don't know if I'm dressed or not. All you can see is my shirt and my watch.
There's so much. Well, then, and then when I watch Scuba's show, and I see different things that he does with his screen and all that, and I'm because that's so cool. I'm so happy that Scuba got on the StreamYard. I keep wanting to say yard stream, it's like I said, what was I, a landscaper or something, or I think I'm a landscaper. It's supposed to be StreamYard, but I always want to say yard stream. But that he got on the StreamYard, and I just think that's cool. And then I bugged Jade about different things like, why can I do this or that? I want to do that. So she's going to help me next week or whatever, because I know she's been busy. But I'm just, I appreciate you, Jade. You got me here. See, all this is I couldn't
Yeah.
do it without you. You and Deweese, and I owe
Good
Deweese.
friends.
I owe Deweese. Deweese, DM me your address because I know I owe you a sticker for helping, because she was in there with Jade in the mornings when we were there for like hours on FaceTime for how to set everything up, and then of course Scuba helped me too. So I had a lot of help because I was like lost. I'm like, how am I gonna do that? So Kramer, if I wanted like more, if I know somebody that's got a Cricut or whatever, can I just get would I give one of those stickers to them and they can make up more stickers? How does that work or
Yeah,
whatever?
I actually didn't use the Cricut to make them. I just used
Oh,
I have a what is it? It's a Canon photo printer.
oh,
So, and when I
is that
bought
all
the
I need?
printer, yeah, a good printer will print them off. And
Can
then
I
they
go?
were
Oh, can
they
I
were
go to
just
Walgreens and do that or no?
um
No, that's something
yeah,
different.
you can. I don't know. Walgreens might make them. The thing is, I had a roll of sticker blanks that would feed through the printer.
Yeah.
And it wasn't actually a roll; it was a sheet, and then you
Okay.
just pull them apart. So it printed on the sticker blanks, photo quality print, and I just got I captured the video or the picture that you sent me for your show,
Yeah.
that little thumbnail. I just
Yeah.
captured that and sent it to my printer, previewed it, cleaned it up so it looked nice and sharp, and printed it off. I only had 50 blanks though, and I screwed up one. I screwed up two getting it aligned correctly. So I always forget which it's weird because my paper goes in this way, but it prints this way,
Yeah.
so it's
Well,
weird, and I always get it screwed up.
after the show, just screenshot that printer, would show me what it looks like or whatever.
Yeah,
And,
it's just a little. It's just a Canon, and it's not the.
oh,
What is it?
okay.
It's a Canon, but it doesn't have ink tanks. It's
Okay.
got
I
wells
never
that
heard of
you.
that. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have the little cartridges that you got to go fill up. It actually has big tanks. So not little cartridges that you take in or you keep having to buy new cartridges. I just buy a great big bottle of ink,
Okay.
So I can also do, if I buy the right kind of ink, I can do tattoo, the things that you get the back of it wet and you put them on your arm and you rub them and you let them sit there and then you
Yeah.
peel it off and you got a temporary tattoo. This thing
Yeah.
will run those. It'll
Oh, okay.
run. Yeah, it'll
Okay.
run. It'll do all kinds of stuff.
Because I know I have to make up. I want to, make a bunch more stickers so I don't. Because me, I like, oh, you get one, you one. So we were going to do. Let's see if I got any more. That's it. I'm trying to see here. And the last one is breath is the first gift of nature. So that could be plant, anything nature, plants or whatever. Karen. Hi, Karen. Welcome.
Hi, Karen.
Welcome to Lindy's Treehouse. So glad. I'm so happy that you're hanging out with us tonight. I missed you, girl.
Number
Gosh.
8.
Yeah, I got to meet Karen at the Torchport fly-in. That's been like 2 years already. She's a lovely lady, her and her husband, Steve. I love them both very dearly. And I was so happy to see you and meet you. And that was the Tannins. Yeah, it's been 2 years already. My gosh. Well, you already know, Karen, that I got my third tandem in. So with Keith and Kat. And I love you, Kat, if you're listening. Kat took me up in the air on my tandem. And it was super fun. And part of me says, okay, 3's the charm. 3's enough. You did it. And then the other part of me is when I see videos and I watch my videos over again, me going up in the air, guess what I think?
Gotta do it again. Gotta do it again. Yeah.
I want to do it again.
You're
And then the other part saying, no, I think you're good, Linda. I think you're good. But, I mean, what a way to spend your birthday, right? Birthday month next year, the big 7-0. So everybody, and talk about age, age is just a number. And it's all how, I don't feel like I'm going to be 70 next year. And I'm not shy to say I want to be 70. You take my hat off. See? Got a lot of hair. Going to keep my hair. Linda and I both, me and Kramer both wore our pink hats. And
pink camo tonight.
Yep, our camo hats, as you can see. Yes, my hat that I got from Army Surplus. But yeah, we decided to change it up a little bit tonight. And I just, it's so cool to see everybody in here. It really, I just love it. I love my Thursdays. And you guys, you, Bill H. Yes, you, Bill H. If me and Kramer have our way, you're going to
trouble now.
Guest on our show. Because we got the buddy system here, see? So, game on now. Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna get it one of these days. No.
Yep. He's gonna cave in and he's gonna say, okay. But you know what, Kramer, we're gonna have to bribe Bill.
Yeah, he's afraid everybody's gonna fall in love with him.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to bribe him to be be on the show. Yes. Bill H. She was doing yoga and military push-ups in my yard while I watched the wheelchair. Let's talk about Karen. Karen, she's the coolest chick ever. Karen, you are a cool chickie. And Karen knows too that age is just a number. Yeah.
So I trained to fly a paramotor when I was 62. So I was the oldest female pilot that Lone Star paramotor ever trained. I made my first flight on day 3, a couple hours after I dislocated my shoulder trying to bring the wing up for the first time. But Ron put up with me and let me fly that evening anyway. So age is just, we had to introduce ourselves at the beginning of the class, the first day of class. Everybody in there had to stand up and tell their name and their age.
Right on, John.
And why they wanted to fly. And I stood up and I said, my name's Kramer. I don't answer the first one, so it doesn't matter what you call me, because the first one, if you guess it right, I won't answer to it anyway.
Yeah.
As for my age, by my height, I'm 12. And so we were joking around about that. But John was 65 when you learn, John. That's awesome. And you foot launch. I got one knee, so I can't foot launch. But
oh gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, and it's all like I said, it's like that first time I went up. Okay, so what? 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago when I had my first one. I was well in my 60s, and I knew if I didn't go up, I'd regret it, right? I just remember sitting down in that chair, and Jay knows, and watching Eric bring the trike over and everything, and they're kind of, and my brain's going, gosh, I really want to go up in the air. And so, before I knew it, I was sitting in that seat, and you saw the video, and I watched the video over and over again. It was the coolest thing ever. So Bill
was 59 and he flies.
And
he foot launches.
It like build my self-confidence. I didn't have no self-confidence when I went up and, the first time I went up in the air or whatever. I just did it because I was like, Jay and Eric kept talking to me, all year saying, hey, we'll take you up. Come to the flying. We'll take you up. And I, every time I watch their show, they'd be on there, come on, we'll take you up. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I started thinking it only made sense since I follow all the shows and everybody talking about, what their experiences up in the air, and what they experience. And then finally I was like, I want to know what this is all about. And boy, did I ever find out what it was all about. So Michelle's Randy. She said, Randy told me about paramotors. He said he used to do that. You all had some, yeah, we do. Yep, Randy, yes. That's how I met Randy, through the paramotor community. And Michelle, it's just something that, I don't know. You saw the videos on Facebook, and I had to go up again this year, and I went last year, but who knows, but I'm just glad that I did it. And
so it's the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. It ties with scuba diving with the sharks, but it's more fun than anything else I've ever done. And I wish I'd have known about it sooner. I would have done it when I physically would have been able to foot launch if I'd have known about it sooner. We really need to get the word out to the community about paramotoring. And while I'm talking about that, let me give you guys a warning. I didn't get my launch video from Ron this morning. For some reason, it didn't send to my phone. So I have the video of my wing handling, taxiing the wing across the field. I ran out of field before I could get off the ground. So I have that video. I have my landing, but I don't have my launch. So I'll try to post the other two. The next time I go down to Lone Star, Ron will try to airdrop the launch again, and I'll get that posted
keep
too.
Keep that YouTube going. I haven't. She hasn't sent me the award yet. She said she got my address yesterday. Susan got my address yesterday. Yeah, I saw the Millstead. And so, is that how this all kind of started with you and Susan and Jade? Is that how this program started? Because it's the coolest ever. I wasn't even aware of this. Of the Friendship Award, and I'm so humbled, and I love you all so much. I've been following the paramotoring for years and years, and all the shows and everything, and as soon as when I get the award, when I get it in the mail, I'll definitely show everybody. I'm pretty excited about it. I
think it's awesome.
I get all teared up just talking about it, because I didn't expect that at all. I really didn't, because thank you, Karen. Like I said, I'm very humbled, and I'm just happy. Wow, So Dewey said we were the first. That's how they got named. They were 3 different awards. That is so special. When I saw the Millstead, I'm like, that name sounds familiar. Yeah. I think that is, and that's what this show is about tonight. Everybody wants to feel appreciated. And that's why I have to say tonight is I appreciate all of you. And I love when I got some new chatters. And Michelle, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I love you bunches, girl. And I'm pretty excited about that. And Kramer, you're going to get a whole bunch of subscribers. And today, like I said, today was all about being thankful. And me and Kramer were talking today because, I look for different things to talk about. And today is Michael Jackson's, would have been his 66th birthday, because we're talking about age. 66 years old. And what a I remember, do you guys, I don't know if everybody watches football or whatever, but when they had the Super Bowl, do you guys remember seeing Michael Jackson did the halftime show in the Super Bowl? I remember so vivid in my mind when I was at my work, And this was way back, right? In the 80s. Do some trivia here. When did Michael Jackson, what Super Bowl was it that Michael Jackson was in the halftime show? Does anybody know? Anybody? That award went to Dweese for being there for me and taking care of me, and Randy, your hard work with Randy. That's so cool. Oh, Michelle said she's going to be in Michigan. Where are you going to be, Michelle? Yeah, do you remember that, John, do you remember what Super Bowl it was that that Michael Jackson?
1993.
1993. And I was working at Home Depot. I was still kind of a newbie, right? Because I got hired in 1987. But I remember then they had, Jade said 1988. Oh, maybe.
Was it? Wait, let me look it up.
Okay.
I think it was 93 because I had my cancer surgery in 94.
Because I started with Home Depot in 1987.
Let me see.
So I remember I was working in the store on that Sunday, and they literally had some TVs set up in the front of the store so we could watch the game. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I remember seeing him, Michael Jackson, on there, and
what
it's
year did Michael Jackson win the Super Bowl?
The halftime shows have gone to
2009.
They're not.
Michael Jackson.
The halftime shows aren't
Los Angeles, California.
aren't as good as they used to be. That's what I think. And I think Michael Jackson put on the best halftime show ever.
1993, he did the where was it? Oh, Heal the World.
Oh yeah, Michelle, you're like 4 hours. You're downstate. You're around where my sis used to live. My sis Judy used to live. Because I'm in Petoskey, so I'm up north. So you're downstate, so you're like 4 hours away. Yeah.
Did you hear Siri? He said in 1993, Michael Jackson did the Super Bowl halftime show and sung Heal the World.
1993. Okay. Okay. Yep. I still remember. I remember the halftime show. Some of them I think I'd like to forget. I watched the Lions last year, watched Detroit Lions, and their halftime show was a joke, to say the least.
I don't usually watch the halftime show. That's time to go get pretzels and
some
nachos.
Rather not. Yeah, some would like rather not talk about. Yeah, I just but I just thought Michael Jackson, what a icon. You know what I mean? Like, my gosh, he's the one that started all the what do you call when they do the
moonwalk?
The moonwalk, yes.
Where he walks back. Yeah. I didn't really watch him much. I wasn't impressed. I guess it just wasn't my type of music.
Billie Jean, you're not my lover. Remember that song, Billie Jean?
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you the words because I really didn't.
It is not my song. As everybody goes away.
Go Packers.
Everybody's like going to be watching this now. Going, what is wrong with her? Because this is the time of the night where my coffee kicks in, see, because I have my iced coffee early in the afternoon. Because if I have it too late, then I'm trying to do my show, and I'd be running to the bathroom every 5 minutes. So, no, Jade. No, Jade. No.
I like the Packers. I
Go
say Go Packers.
Go Lions. See, me and Jade.
All
football season, we're like,
okay.
bam.
So if it's Texas or the Packers, I'm voting for Texas, rooting for Texas. But if it's the Packers and anybody else, I'm rooting for the Packers.
Hey, I want to see your teams. Put it out there.
Father knows best.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
So coffee puts me to sleep. If I drank coffee 24/7, I would be asleep all the time.
I love my iced coffee. I only just have one cup. And, oh, please, all you with your Green Bay. your Green Bay stuff.
Green Bay is good unless it's
No,
against
no.
Texas. Then I'm sorry, but Green Bay has to lose.
I'm going to say go blue for my Wolverines. So now I got to figure out, because I like to watch my college football on Saturdays, right? So I'm thinking of just paying to watch just football, all through the football season, and just cancel it after that.
Oh.
So there was a resiliency award. Jade got that last year, and Above and Beyond award. Wendy Weaver got it last year. I love it.
Yeah.
Above and Beyond award.
How did they figure all these out? I know how they figured out the resiliency award because, man, she's been through so much.
Yes.
And then what's an Above and Beyond award? I understand friendship award. You're just everybody's friend and everybody knows you and is like, oh, yeah, that's my friend.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, how do you find, and I can understand resiliency. What's an Above and a Beyond reward? Is that like, I don't know. When I was a prospect with the 5th Chapter Motorcycle Club, I had to have everything in my pockets at all times. If somebody said, give me a sugar cube, I better have a sugar cube. Not a packet of sugar. I better have one of those little plastic boxes with about 10 cubes in it. You know, I mean, they wanted a paper clip or, So that's
Michelle has Michelle and Randy have motorcycles.
Oh, she does a lot for the.
They have motorcycles, yeah. So when she's not doing that, she says she's watching rodeo, and that's what I do too, Michelle. I just get on my YouTube and I watch all different stuff. So I'll have to introduce you to a show I watch on Facebook Live on Tuesday nights, Michelle, and it's Flint Rasmussen. He has his own show. So after after Shaney's show, which ends at 9:00, then you wonder why my eyes are fried by the time I go to bed. And then I watch I watch Flint Rasmussen. I watch his show at 9:00, and they talk about the bull riding and the teams and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. And we just talk about rodeo stuff, and you'd like that. Chat, Michelle. Yeah. So I will. I'll remind you on Tuesday, and I'll show you how to look it up on Facebook, Michelle, and you can watch. You can get in the chat with me. Yeah. I've been watching him for over a year, and he used to be. Flint was an entertainer at the pro. Bull riding, and so now he's retired, but he's doing other things in Texas, and he's very much involved still with the sport, and so I follow him every Tuesday night. He's on there or whatever, so it's kind of cool.
So I'm wondering, do they know who got the other 2 awards this year? So did they give them all out at the same time, or do they spread them out?
Oh, that's for Deweese. Okay, I'll let Deweese.
Yeah, because so the Milstead Award went to you, and I think that's awesome. Congratulations again. And
thank you.
Did they give the other 2 out, or are they waiting on the other 2? That's pretty cool. That's very interesting. Yeah.
See, then if I put my hat backwards if I want, so I can. Everybody can.
If we want to have attitudes, we have to put them on backwards.
Yeah.
Now we got the Will Fly attitude.
Now we can see. Yeah. See like that. My hair is probably all sticking out. It probably looks dorky.
Randy got the 2.
I'm a dorky. Okay.
That's awesome. Randy got a 2003 Dyna Wide Glide. That is so cool. The 100-year anniversary edition.
They make a big deal of that. He had on Facebook I guess when he bought it, they ring that big gong thing or whatever it's called, and to congratulate him for purchasing a motorcycle or whatever. But you guys be careful, because geez.
Carrie Fields. I need to meet more people. I need to go to more fly-ins because I don't know all these. I don't. Most of the people I know are from chats on the Paramotor show. You know, the Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night
Yeah,
shows, Friday
yeah.
night, and well, on Wednesday. That's how I. That's how I get people's names. And Ron's constantly going, "How do you know all these people?" I'm like, "Because I watch all these shows and they're chatters." But when I went to EFD, I probably got 80 signatures in my PPG Bible. I went around and met everybody. I didn't fly last year, but I'll
You
fly
sound
this year.
You sound like me in my early days at the rodeo when I would have backstage media passes and stuff. You get media passes, and this is before 9/11, obviously, and we got media passes, and I actually went. I still have all my hats, and I'd go around and I'd have the bull riders, the PBR guys, the professional bull riders, sign my hat, and I
Good
still have
morning,
all
Walter,
my hats.
dear. Sorry.
And all those guys are now, the ones that are on my hat now, they're all pretty much retired, and now their kids are riding, so it's kind of cool. Hi, Walter, my sugar. Hey, what do we always say? We say we always know there's going to be a tomorrow
Tomorrow's
when
on its
Walter
way.
comes in the chat from
It's
Austin.
nice to see you made it tonight, Walter. You're such a dear.
Walter, how are you feeling? You said you had bronchitis. So I'm gonna let you say hi to everybody in the chat real quick.
Yeah, we've got
'Cause
11.
this is
It counts
appreciation.
you and I because we both chatted at the beginning. But
Yes.
so there's 9 of us tonight, or 11. But I got 9 names. We got Bill H came in first tonight. Jade, Just Want to Fly was the second one in.
Okay.
Good to see you here tonight. John Wayne, I'm glad you're feeling good enough to come and join us. Scuba's here. Thank you for coming in, Scuba. Deweese Milstead Paramotor Woman is here. She was number 5. Michelle is here. Michelle Aldridge. And then we got Scott L. and Karen Up and Walter Priori. Thank you guys, all of you, for coming in and stopping by the Treehouse tonight.
Yes. That's right, Walter. Don't spit on the bananas. Yeah. That was our saying when I first met Walter in the chat and everything he was talking about. When he used to he worked produce, and he used to yell at the customers and tell them not to spit on the bananas.
Oh yeah, why would they spit on the bananas?
So now that's what we that's what we say or whatever.
That's just disgusting. I would tell them don't sneeze on the bananas.
Yeah. I think
somebody spit on them.
I think Shane and Will, they're at that right there at that fly-in at Mark McElroy. They're at Mark McElroy's place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mark is cool. He's cool. Hi, Eric. Love you, man.
Put the rubbish
out. How
out.
you feeling today, bud? You're in my prayers all the time, every day, every day, every day.
Oh wait, did you see somebody I didn't see?
Eric just jumped in the chat.
Oh, hi, Eric. Yeah, I just got
I'm glad you're here. Love you bunches, dude.
Eric, number 10 tonight, and I'm so happy that your treatments are going so well. So praying for you.
Yep.
You and Jade both, and Deweese with her broken foot, and John
with
with
his
broken heart, and yeah.
See, Michelle, you're not alone. Tell us how you hurt your foot, and then in the chat, Michelle, and then Deweese will tell her story how she broke her foot, because I was like, what the heck is going on?
Everyone's broken.
Everyone is broken.
I had a broken heart yesterday because as soon as I got my wing all laid out nice and perfect, I hooked up the right side to the trike. I walked around, I'm hooking in the left side. It started sprinkling and thunder, and Ron's like, you are not going up today. And I was like, wah. He said, are you crying? I'm like, no, that's rain on my face. But I flew this morning, so yeah, I flew this morning, so that made up for it.
Yeah, after you get everything, those wings aren't the lightest,
No, and it's a 35-meter Triox too, and it got wet. By the time we got my carabiners are so hard hooking in the risers, and so by the time I could get the carabiners undone, the wing was pretty wet, but they picked it up and carried it to the other hangar and laid it out to dry. And I got to fly this morning, so I was happy.
So you did get to fly.
Yeah, but I still need 2 more flights to get my rating, and I was trying so hard to get all 3 flights in yesterday and today. Just the odds were against me.
Go out there on can't you go out there like on Monday? Is the weather going to be okay on Monday?
Looks like rain on Monday.
Really?
So I've had such a hard time with, I'm only off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So everybody's down there flying on the weekends, and I can see them on my gaggle, and I'm seeing them all in the air, and I'm like, I want to fly so bad. And then I get off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's rainy. Or this morning, it wasn't rainy, but it was foggy until after 9:30. We didn't have 1 mile visibility, so we couldn't fly. So I did do after it cleared up, I did 1 taxi. I was going to take off and fly. Ron said, let's just worry about taxiing. If the wing comes up pretty, you can fly. But we didn't have the ASIS. It's a new wing for me. It's not mine. It belongs to the school, but I had never flown it before, and I'm super short. So we had to reset my ASIS, and they were too long, and they didn't bring the wing up in time. Mm-hmm. I went completely across the airport and ran out of room, so I had to kill this. It was like kill because I can't get off the ground in time to clear the hangar that was in front of me.
Already, so Michelle's saying, if you want to read it, Michelle is saying how she broke her foot.
One of her dogs was wanting out, and she put the leash on the big male dog, and one of the pups ran in, and by the time she got him to the 3rd step, the big dog that she had on the leash, yanked her off the steps.
Yep. And Michelle is no bigger than me. So I'm
5'1". How tall are you? You're like 5, right? You're like 5
I'm taller. I'm 5'2".
You're taller than, okay, so honestly, I'm 5'1", but my driver's license says I'm 5'2", so I can claim that. But if I'm barefoot, I'm not 5'1".
And I ended up having to buy Eric. I felt so bad after the last 2 flyings when we took up in the air that I went and I bought him hearing aids, because.
Yeah. Yes, Walter, I'm praying to God, but he has his own thing in mind, and I have to wait and fly when he wants me to. So I don't fly on Sundays anymore.
Michelle's 5'7". She's taller than both of us.
Oh, I was thinking you 109. That's a stick figure. That's looks like this big.
I'm 107 pounds, so at 5'2", so I'm like Minnie Mouse. And don't be doing that again, Michelle.
Hi, Greg Laney. He's away from the computer, but he said hi.
Hi, Greg.
Greg's number 11 tonight.
Yay! Okay, everybody, say in the chat, I appreciate you, Greg.
We appreciate you, Greg. Say it in the chat.
Greg.
I love you too, Walter. You're such a sweetheart.
This is appreciation night, and this is Thankful Thursday, and that's what we're talking about on the Treehouse. And everybody was saying what they were thankful for and who they're thankful for. So, Greg, put in the chat, what are you thankful for? Are you thankful for, you can put in there your mom or whatever you want to say. Put in there, you're thankful for somebody in the chat. Because I put it, I'm thankful for everybody. All my people that come and watch my chat. I'm thankful for JD. She puts up with all my shenanigans when we're she's trying to help me with different things, and she's like, sit still. See, if I'm sitting in my other chair, then I wouldn't be able to move like this, but you can't help it when you're in the desk chair. So
yeah, when my Lazy Boy was new, it had a swivel on it, and I would sit here and swivel in it. Now the swivel base broke. They're going to
Yeah.
replace it, but I'm like, I have a hard time sitting still, so just leave the swivel
Yep.
off.
Yep. Me and you both. Well, Ryan bought me, I was using my little card table chair. In fact, that was something my mom gave me when I was, I was using a card table chair for the desk upstairs, when I was staying with mom and dad. And so I asked mom if I could keep a card table chair, because I didn't even have a desk yet. And she said, sure. So yeah, that's how I got that card table chair. And now I have my little corner where I do my paintings, little banquet table. And Michelle said she's thankful for all her friends, especially thankful for my husband, Randy. I love Randy's a sweetheart. And I was so happy, Michelle, when you guys got married. And I wish I could have been there, but I was there in spirit. So Randy's such a good guy. And that's why you don't be breaking stuff. Going to give Randy a heart attack. He's on the road. And then, yeah, I broke my foot. I bet he was like, what?
Well,
Kramer, you should have sacked that lazy boy.
Hey, I'm sorry, but I love my lazy boy because I will rock. I'll sit on the ground and rock. I have ADHD. They didn't diagnose that when I was a kid. When I was a kid,
That's why we get along so good.
Well, when I was a kid, ADHD was called being a brat. So the teachers just said, your kid's a brat. They never said, your kid has ADHD. We have to make special allowances. No, I was just a brat and I got whipped every day. But I will rock anytime I start, if I'm thinking hard or if I'm tired or if I just want to calm down, I'll rock. And this lazy boy is the only chair that's made that you can recline it back without putting the feet out and continue to rock. So I can put it halfway back and I can
oh my gosh,
and then put it back up and not. So I love it because any other recliner that you ever sit in, once you push back on the back up part of it, you can't rock it anymore. And I'm a rocker. I can't help it. My mama rocked me when I was a baby. I rocked my baby when she was a baby. I rock the dog. She loves to sit on me, and I'll just rock the dog. Which, by the way, is why I have a small dog, because I'm not a big person, so I have a small dog because my daughter had a German Shepherd, and when he jumped on me to love me, he knocked me on the ground, so I have a little dog. But I'm sorry, Lazy Boy's the only one who does this. So
my nickname when I was in school was Jumping Jack, because I was always in and out of my seat. I know that's shocking. And okay, I'll tell you a story, and then you guys maybe can tell some funny stories, like in school, what happened to you, like when you were younger or whatever. But we had to do when they ask questions, what they call multiple questions kind
multiple
of thing.
choice.
And thank you. And so it said, and my mom and dad, bless his heart, when I was still staying with them, in 2021, they brought this up or whatever. They still remember, 97 years old, and they still remember it. They said, what flies south for the winter? And you had to say birds, polar bears, or there was something else. And I circled polar bears. So the nuns, because I was in the Catholic school, it really upset them, and they thought there was something seriously wrong with me. So they had to call my mom and dad to the school, showed them, my little, my question thing that, didn't you know polar bears fly? You know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
you learn something new every day. At my age, I'm still learning.
Yeah. And so a funny story, Ryan and Robert's dad.
Bye, John Wayne.
We had parakeets, and I had the parakeet in outside. I was cleaning the cage. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, the parakeet flew out. Robert, there's
Hey,
something
Robert
wrong
Michaels.
with us.
Robert Michaels is number 12. Thanks
Oh
for
God,
coming
Robert heard
by.
that. Robert heard me about the polar bears. But anyway, so
He said there's something wrong with all of us.
the
You say
parrot,
that like it's a bad thing, you know?
the parakeet. So the parakeet got away. Hello, my son, Robert Michaels. I love you. So the parakeet got out, and so my husband at the time said, "Well, they latched onto another parakeet, or not, like latched onto a polar bear, and they flew south for the winter." So, yes. Hi, Robert.
Yeah, I hated the multiple choice questions that D was all of the above. And one of them I was going through the test so fast, and I answered like letter B, and the teacher counted it wrong, and she said the answer was all of the above, and I said, wait a minute, if B was wrong, how can it be right that it's all of the above? So B was right, D is more right, but B was right, so give me half credit or something. Yeah, my teachers did not like me that much. So
Michelle said, that's okay. I had a guinea pig that I thought was a boy, and it had babies. That happened to me too, Michelle. Oh my gosh, we're so alike with animals. I'm telling you. I feel like I've known her all my life. That's the same thing that happened. Yeah, we had because my second husband worked at a feed store. So every time I go to the feed store, I always came home with something. And and I ended up we had 2 guinea pigs, and we had to change the name because and we had to separate them because one day we look in the cage and we're like, what are these little things here? And we're like, uh-oh. So we had to change
40 new guinea pigs.
Yeah, we had to change the name from Beretta. We had to change it to Bear, I think, or something like that, or just the opposite. But yeah, we had to change their names because it was and that happened with the parakeets too. I remember I had parakeets, and I got up in the morning. The parakeet was laying on the bottom of the cage, and his name was Garth. And I was like, what the heck's going on? Why is Garth sick or whatever? No, Garth was a girl. Garth laid an egg.
So I used to raise English parakeets. You can tell them when they're adults because the boys have a blue band on the top of their beak, and the girls have a blue band.
Right.
English parakeets are I didn't know babies. You can't tell, but when they're adults, you can tell.
I didn't. Yeah, and Dewey said she went to Catholic school. How many of you in the chat went to a Catholic school when you were growing up? Yeah, those nuns were something else. Oh my gosh.
Michelle got baby ducks and Randy.
I was always in trouble. I know that's shocking, but they used to have demerit cards. And so I got, remember demerits? You guys remember in the chat, demerits?
Yeah.
And I
never got one.
I got in trouble. Oh.
Yes, I did.
I don't even know how did I sneak it out of the house? I don't know, but I was chewing gum. I was like Daredevil, you know what I'm saying? I was chewing gum in the classroom in front of the nun, and I got pulled outside. You know how they take you outside in the hallway.
Come with me.
And
that's how I got taken outside every time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, some of those nuns were mean.
I didn't go to Catholic school, but my first grade teacher almost daily, come with me. That's why I'm deaf in this ear. It has nothing to do with the motorcycle pipes were both on this side. It has everything to do with the teacher who said, come with me constantly, every day, all day long.
Karen, I went to a public high school because they would have kicked me out. And my one sister, she got kicked out of she had to go to a different school or whatever, Catholic school, because she got kicked out of the all girls school. So everybody knew. And so Michelle says, you can read it if you want. What is Michelle saying?
I didn't realize that. She said, you want to know something scary? They said hamsters hibernate, and act like they're dead as long as it's cold. So it makes you wonder how many hamsters were buried by people thinking they were dead. That's amazing. I did not know that.
That,
I didn't know
yeah,
they
no
hibernated.
kidding. Yeah.
That's
Never
crazy.
thought about that. Robert knows growing up, when we had a little farm, we had everything. We had the horses, chickens, ducks, goats, rabbits, geese. Yeah, they didn't like the geese. The geese would chase the kids around the yard. And then we adopted a burro from in 1987. We adopted a burro from the Bureau of Land Management, because every year, I don't even know if they still do that. They put in adoptions. They have adoptions for wild Mustangs and wild burros, and you bring them home, and you pretty much, they're green, as the saying go. They call them, green like the horses, and they bring them home, or you adopt them, and you get them used to being around, get them domesticated. And the burro that we had, and Robert knows, the burro that we had, she was in foal when I got her, which means she was going to have a baby. And so I got 2 for 1. And so I'm at work and I get a call. She had her little foal in the yard, and it was a little Jack. So a Jack is a boy and a Jenny is a girl. So I'm giving you guys some. Yeah, that's right. So her name was, that's right. I couldn't think of any Spanish names, right, when I got her. So I named her Tangeray.
Oh.
And so my husband at the time, Robert's dad, he got the job of trimming her feet. And she used to kick the bleeping out of him. And I had the job, I had her in a little pen, and I'd go out there every day with what was Tangeray. The Tangeray was the baby, that's right. And it was Tequila Sunrise. That was mom's name. And the baby's name was Tangeray. And if the baby, as he got older, if he was bad or whatever, then his name was Burrito. That's why I call him a term of burrito. But what an experience, because you figure you get these animals out of the wild, right? And I had them in a little, I had her in a little pen, and I'd go out there with carrots in my hand, and I'd hold my hand out. And, they have that, how the burros have that long neck, and she had this long, she'd put her neck out or whatever. And little by little, she started coming to me. I had a lead rope on her, a halter on her, and she would come up to me, and she started eating out of my hand. And then we had the baby. It was fun. It was fun. And we actually would put a little halter on the baby, right? Remember that, Robert? And we'd take the baby out. And me and Mel, my friend that lived on the next block, had a miniature burro. And we would walk our burros. My boys were just little. And we'd walk our burros around, get them used to walking in the street and stuff, walking around. So when we would have the burro would step down off the curb, it was pretty scary. It was like, because they didn't know, so it took some doing. But and I had a friend that had a Mustang, the horse Mustang that was totally green, which means that nobody's ever done, they were kind of just from the wild. Nobody's done anything with them, and had a trainer come out and broke them so that they could ride them and everything. But having that burro that was quite an experience, say the least. And even my horse, the horse that we adopted, was used for, he was 17 years old when we got him, and he was used for kids classes, maybe like for the kids who are autistic or whatever. And so we ended up adopting, because I wanted a horse for the boys when they were little. And so we got that horse. And I even learned how to I could ride that horse bareback, and it wouldn't even
Nice.
phase him. He knew all the commands, everything, And then my brother-in-law that lived with us at the time had a mare named Beauty, and I would ride her around the yard, not knowing she probably could have killed me. So I found out later that, she was because some of the mares.
It's amazing they let you bring them home, though, because nowadays there's like, adopt a whale and you get a certificate that you adopted the whale, but you don't get to bring it home. Or adopt a polar bear, and you get a stuffed polar bear because you adopt. It's just the animal protection, and you send them a bunch of money and they send you a certificate that you adopted. I'll adopt the shark if you'll let me bring it home, but they don't let you bring it home anymore.
Yeah, I was so sad when, finally we got rid of a lot of our animals. People came and bought them from us, or however, I found a new home for them. But yeah, we boarded fainting goats. Pretty funny.
I love fainting goats. They're hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, you know what those are. Yeah, just look at it. Boom, and they go down. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Like, oh no, that goat just died. No, it just fainted.
Yep. And the kids used to, Robert and Ryan used to take Beauty and go to gincanas, that was like a thing they had for the kids, where they have different events. They have different games they play on the horses, right? So maybe they'll have the egg on the spoon race, little races, and you're on your horse. And so Beauty, she had to have a red ribbon on her tail because she would try and bite the other horses or whatever. So the red thing meant danger. But Robert and Ryan would get on there, and I remember one time my brother-in-law at the time went up because we lived by the mountain preserve, and he went up. Remember this, Robert? And he went to the mountain preserve, and there was and he had his little 6-pack of beer, and he, I guess evidently tied her to the tree or whatever, and then he sat down to have his beers, and he fell asleep. Well, guess what? There was an alley behind our house, and all of a sudden we hear all this, and you always knew when a horse got loose. And we're in the city, but we could have horses, horse property. No. And you could hear a horse running down the alley. And sure enough, it was Beauty, but no Ray. Ray wasn't there. So we had to go. So my husband at the time had to jump on the saddle and all. Here she comes. So so Ryan, Robert's dad had to get on the horse and go find Ray. And he was passed out up in the mountain preserve somewhere. But yeah, Beauty found her way home. Yeah, because you couldn't ride a car up there, right? It was, part of it or whatever. But
so wait a minute. Michelle is she's 5'7", but she weighs a buck, right? She used to saddle break horses. Now she can't do it anymore because we can see she doesn't bounce, or she wouldn't have broke.
Oh gosh.
But man,
that's cool though, Michelle. Not everybody can do that.
That's hard work.
Yeah, Randy would. Yeah. Yes, they would torture him. Wow, that's amazing, Michelle. Yeah, that's amazing. Walter said he had a friend had a goat that when she told the goat off, it would shut the eyes to think she was not seen.
I did that when I was a kid. I'm not in trouble. I would go, I'm not in trouble. You can't see me.
Yeah. They were doing that. You can't see me.
Yeah. When I was like 3, and my brother would punch me in the head and say, I can see you or I wouldn't be able to punch you. Boink.
So who else? Anybody else in there had horses? Any little farm thing? Any little experiences in the chat if you're still there?
We got 12 people in the chat.
I hope I didn't run them off talking about my horses.
No, we got 12 in here now. Wait a second, let me check.
Oh, so everybody's still hanging? Okay.
Yeah, so everybody's still hanging with us.
Okay, cool.
And we got 12 thumbs up. So thank you, everybody, for hitting the like button, giving Linda
Yes.
thumbs ups. We
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Scuba's whole backyard was a whole farm of horses.
That's cool. That's cool. Oh, ask again. Okay. So what we were gonna? Oh, we're asking what animal did you like growing up? Kind of farm animals, or what? What's your best memory of growing up as a child? As far as like, did you had dogs, or what was it that you could just put?
Robert
whatever.
said Beauty didn't respect small people riding her. Every once in a while, when Robert was riding her, she would just decide to go home.
Yeah.
So
Yep. She'd
he
do
was
her
in
little.
control.
She would do this little jump. I remember because I would try to ride her, but when I first moved in my house in Phoenix, when we were in Phoenix, I knew I had just pretty much moved from Michigan and stuff, And I mean, living in Michigan, growing up, I didn't have horses. I didn't even know what the heck, And I remember Beauty got out one time and out of her pen, and I was scared to death because I didn't know what to do with her, So I had to have my neighbor come over and put the halter around her and put her back in the pen. But I was determined to learn how to ride. And so I started learning how to ride on Beauty. But okay, so Greg said no horses for me, but I had friends that had some. That's the best thing. Cheaper that way too.
Yeah. If you can get your friends to let you ride them,
And Michelle said she has all kinds of pot-bellied pigs. Okay.
Walter rode his kangaroo to school.
They're so sweet. I rode my kangaroo to school.
That's
hey,
funny.
Ryan rode my burro, not the mama, but the baby. The baby was getting this one. The baby was a few years old, and he had like a giant cross on his back, and he had all this long hair. That burro was huge. And then we raised a pig. Remember, Robert? We raised Oinky. The kids named him Oinky. Bill said we had a horse, but we lived in the city, so we had to go to the stables on the weekend. Yeah, he was such a good boy, wasn't he, Robert? Senator. That's the one that we got from that from the Pretty Penny Ranch. It was called in Scottsdale, Arizona. Yep. And
I had a turtle.
Yeah.
But my mom put it in the creek, so she didn't like pets.
Oh.
So I had a turtle for a short time, but she put it in the creek.
What did she put in the creek?
The turtle.
Turtle?
Yeah, I had a turtle.
Aww.
Turtle?
A turtle?
Yeah, but she didn't want us to have pets. So, I was at school one day and I came home and the turtle was gone. The little oasis that we had for her, she had this little round, well, it was a big round thing and it had a water area and a beach. Yeah. And I came home and it was empty and I was like, where's the turtle? And she said, he wanted to go home, so he's in the creek now.
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember growing up, the big thing was you go to the state fair or whatever, and you bring home a goldfish.
Yes.
Because I think growing up, they didn't have like PetSmart and all that like they do now. And I remember bringing home. And then it was all good, right? Until my mom made us put the bowl down the basement, and in the basement, the goldfish. Well, what happens if you don't clean the goldfish bowl every day?
It stinks.
Came down one day, it's floating on the top. Yeah, and it was stinky too. Yes. Oh, I like that name. Bill said the horse's name was Blaze. I love that. That.
That's a good name.
Yeah. Well,
Michelle's horse was Ginger.
It really taught my boys respect for animals, when they were growing up. And I didn't expect to have all those animals. It just kind of happened. You know what I mean? You had Beauty was already there because my brother-in-law at the time was living with us. So that was his horse. So that's how it kind of started. And then of course I don't even know where Sugar came from, the goat. Robert knows about the goat, the horns. She wasn't very nice, but the goats are good company for horses. Yeah, Uncle Ray, he loved animals, he loved kids, and yeah, he's no longer with us. He passed away years ago. Yeah, because I was still in Arizona, but Sugar was the devil. Well, yeah, that's because you were told not to climb over in the horse pen because Sugar was in there, and Robert was playing football, and the football went over into the pen, and he was determined to get that football out of there. So he decided he was going to go ahead and climb over the fence and go in the pen. And he went to grab the football, and Sugar said otherwise. And all of a sudden I hear Robert, Mom, Mom. And Robert's got that goat by the horns, and the goat's trying to buck him in the head, and he's holding on to the horns, and he was just a little guy. So what does Michelle say? You read that one.
She saved a fish that she saved it from an old house. The previous owner left it, and she thought it was empty. She dumped it out, and the fish was still alive.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was never good at aquarium. I think when I first met my first husband, Robert's dad, when I first met him, he had an aquarium. How many did you guys, anybody have an aquarium with fish? I think that would be just a lot of maintenance.
We did have an aquarium. That's the only kind of pet my mom would deal with, was an aquarium.
I had a gecko once. They're pretty cool. That was another story too. The gecko was named, or I guess a water dragon, I guess they're called, but he was pretty good size. And his name was Rocky. Well, come to find out, Rocky wasn't a Rocky, because Rocky was laying eggs. We had to change his name to Roxanne. Well, I actually gave him away I gave him to my friend, and my friend named him Roxanne after the song Roxanne. Roxanne, you don't have to.
I had a friend named Rocky. She was a girl, but yeah, her name was Rocky. So
the same time we had a waterbed.
That's where the tank was, in the waterbed.
Waterbed.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yep. Oh yeah. I tell you what, Bill, the waterbeds, they were the nicest when you were sick or whatever, right? And you heat up that water or whatever, you heat it up and you just crawl, lay on the waterbed. But I tell you what, if I had a waterbed now with my vertigo, no, that wouldn't be good. I'd be like feeling like I was on a boat all night, right?
Hey, I loved my waterbed, but I never turned the heater on because I'm hot-natured. So I could lay right on. I would just put a sheet on there and lay on it and cool me down.
Oh my gosh!
And I would. I had exchange students for a couple of years, and they were in the room across the hall from me. And sometimes I would leave my door open and I'd fall asleep. And she's like, "You know what? When you're asleep, your feet never stop moving. That bed's going like this the whole time you're asleep." And I was like, "I can't help it. I love to be wiggly."
I don't even know if they even remember the waterbed stores and stuff were everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was, gosh, we moved in. I moved to my house in Phoenix. The boys were little in 1982. So I think Brian was just 2 years old. So Michelle said she got stuck in a waterbed in California where we had a huge earthquake. So I just laid there.
That's a
what are you going to do, right? Oh my gosh, you live to tell, Michelle. You could write a book, girl. And a 50-gallon, and she said a 50-gallon fish tank. That's huge.
Yeah,
gosh.
That's a good fish tank.
Well, you know what? It depends, like Michelle, like you got stuck in the waterbed, when you think about it, it depends on who you were stuck in the waterbed with. See, that would make it worth the while to be laying there in that waterbed if you were with somebody you wanted to be in the waterbed with. That would be me. Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Earthquake? What earthquake? As I'm staring at the person, laying next to me.
She got stuck in there by herself. My daughter loved
Oh
my
my gosh.
waterbed. When she was young, my daughter would get on the waterbed real close to the edge, and she'd say, "Jump in, Mom. The water's fine." And so I'd jump in and it'd shoot her out the other side.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when she was little, she loved that waterbed.
Yeah, you had to drag the hose into the house, right? Because you had to. And then how do we heat it up? Because remember, you got the water from outside.
It had a heating pad that's underneath the bed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't hook mine up because I like to be cool when I'm sleeping. So
I remember mine. Yeah, mine was heated up. Well, especially in the wintertime. But even when I was in there, we must have brought it from Michigan or something. Because I remember when I was in Arizona, we had the water bed, I believe, in the room or whatever, Arizona. So I'm sure in the summer we didn't. Yeah, but I remember in the wintertime when we both were sick or whatever. I remember that heat felt good when you were chilled, right? But gosh, yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah. Winters and summer, it's a whole 90 degrees. That's frigid. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes it gets cold, but not enough to heat up a waterbed.
Oh gosh.
It didn't get cold enough to make me want to heat the waterbed.
Yeah, I couldn't have a waterbed now. It would be like Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I don't even. I think I remember like even they came out with the Barbie dolls that they had water beds that they had for furniture, the Barbie doll furniture.
Barbie doll had a water bed.
You Barbie dolls, Barbies when you were growing up?
I did not play with Barbie dolls. When I was growing up, the one doll that I remember, we ripped the head off and rolled it from one side of the street to the other every time a car passed to see if we could get it stuck under the car. And we used the arms and legs. We filled them up with raw hamburger meat and used them for fishing.
Oh my gosh.
I had 3 brothers. I was not a nice
lady. I remember my brother, I had it was the Barbie, and then Barbie had a friend named Cricket. And so Cricket had long hair. And my brother cut her hair off.
Oh.
I remember going to find my Barbie, and he was mad at me, and he cut her hair. Yeah, he cut her hair. Michelle said she never played with Barbies. I hated dolls. I had Tonka trucks. I tore heads off dolls. You're like,
oh my goodness! I don't know anybody who would ever tear the head off a doll.
There's your twin. See? She tore the head off the dolls.
And then you fill the heads with contact explosives and you roll them across the street when the cars are coming.
Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Yeah.
That's funny.
I never pulled, I didn't pull the heads off.
I'm so shocked she pulled the head off.
You guys.
I never heard of such a thing. Oh, I think I shall faint.
Guess I like a girly girl. I was a girly girl.
I was not
the guys. Did you guys? Oh yeah. Okay. Did any of the guys have G.I. Joe? Did you guys collect those? Remember you could buy the bag of army, the little army.
Yeah, the little green army men.
Yeah.
I like them. They're not dolls. They're army men.
Kate said she had Weebles. Yeah, my brothers had the package of army, the little, what do you call it? The army, just
army men.
The army men, yes.
Yeah.
And then they had the let's see. Michelle said I made my family mad when they bought me dolls. Don't give me a talk. Yeah. Don't give me a doll.
I can relate to that, but I was not allowed to have boy toys, trucks and stuff. So My poor mother wanted a daughter. She got 3 boys and me. No wonder she left this world so early.
Oh, oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I just remember I don't know if my boys said they didn't have GI Joe. I think they had their little back then. You could buy the little the,
Yeah.
the GI Joe gun and the hat and the whole thing. I remember them playing with that. I had a friend that. What else? What was the other one? The other little those little dolls, the little troll looking, the trolls. I had a friend that collected those.
And their hair stuck straight up. Yeah. So, okay, no wonder I love Jade so much. She played with Matchbox cars. I traded my whole bucket of Halloween candy to my brother for a Matchbox Jeep. And then I said, I claim all the Jeeps in the world because, when you're 2 years old, you think if you claim them, you get them all. So I still have that Jeep. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love Matchbox cars because I could get them and put them in my pocket, and my mom didn't know I was playing with cars. So,
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, they were. I love them, and the old orange track that you used to race the Matchbox cars down, or Hot Wheel cars. Yeah, the orange track that you could stick together and run it all over the whole room. And do flips and loops and curves. Yeah, I love that thing.
I love this in the chat. So you read what Michelle said. Read what Michelle and Jade
used to climb trees and played in the ponds with the frogs. And
we had the best.
And Jade said she brought cats and ducks and frogs and salamanders home and birds. I would put them in my pocket, but usually the frogs would get squished, so my mom would just get mad at me. What is in your pocket? And I would be like, I don't know.
I'd bring jars home of pollywogs. Who used to play with pollywogs? Aren't those baby frogs? Because I used to bring them home in a jar. My mom would make me keep them outside. So pollywogs?
Yeah.
Is that what are they still called pollywogs?
As far as I know.
They were little, right? Okay, so pollywogs are baby frogs, right? In the chat, isn't that what it is? My people
tadpoles.
We're talking animal kingdom
or tadpoles.
Or tadpoles, yeah. I don't know why I call them pollywogs.
Those roly-poly bugs that when you touch them, they roll up into a ball, and then you can flick them across the room.
Yeah.
And you can play with them like marbles and see if you can because they're easy to collect, right? And then you get them all to roll up, and then you flick them and see how many you can get outside the ring. And whoever has the most bugs is the circus master.
Oh, wow.
We played that.
Isn't that amazing? The games that, the stuff that we used to play, play growing up. Mother May I? And
and
Red Rover. Remember Red Rover? Yeah, Mother May I. Yeah, Mother May I? Yeah. Yes, you may take 2 steps.
And everybody holds hands, and you say, Red Rover, let somebody come over, and they got to come try to break through the line.
Yeah, I love that game. Man, that used to hurt. And then it was red light, green light. Yeah.
Kids still play red light, green light.
Or we did Simon Says.
And look, Walter played with slot cars and big tracks in the 60s and 70s. I love slot cars and HO scale trains. Yeah, that was good stuff back when I was a kid. Nobody plays with trains anymore, do they?
My cousin, my cousin that lives in Mason, Michigan, my biological cousin, he's been collecting trains since he's a little boy, and he has a barn that it's all trains. It is so cool. I remember when I went to
I would love that.
Yeah, he showed me in the barn all the trains he had. And the one thing that does stay on my mind when I remember going in that barn, as I look up, because it was in wintertime, there was a bat, and the bat was sleeping up in the corner. And I was like, what is that? He goes, oh, that's the bat. He spends his winter every winter here. He's sleeping. He won't hurt you. I'm like, oh my God.
We had a lot of bats. We would go outside. There was 2 trees that were about 8 feet apart, and we would go out there and stand with our arms out and wait. And the bats would come down and catch flies and stuff right now. They whiz right by our heads, catching the bugs and stuff.
Oh
I
gosh.
loved that. Look, Jade had marbles.
How
and
many?
Michelle,
Oh, yeah, Michelle said she used to build forts in the woods. Yeah, we used to do
That's
that
fun.
too. Yeah,
we would build forts, and then we would have wars with pine cones. So
trains that Eric and his dad played with trains. Yeah, it's pretty cool. My cousin has a beautiful. They actually down here. This was a few months back. They have these little mini trains, and they go from town to town. And they came to our town, and me and Leslie went. It was only like 10 minutes from my house, and we went over and we walked and looked at all the. I'll send you pictures of it, of all the trains, little trains.
yeah,
It was something
that's cool.
it's a family-owned thing, and they just travel around the country, and they bring their train, not toy trains, but real trains. So when you saw that picture on Facebook, me with the standing at the train tracks and the trains behind me, that's what we were looking at. So, so Bill says, you can read it, Linda.
Bill said, as kids, we built rafts with trees to ride in the bayou behind the house. That's really cool. I tried to build a canoe one time out of some branches, but it came apart across the river. And
my oldest brother, built a go-kart. His friends built a go-kart when I was growing up, and we had a big field behind us. Well, this is when they just started putting in the expressway. I guess they call it expressway here. I think Arizona, they call them freeways. Here, I think they call them expressways. Anyway, they were just putting in an expressway. So they could literally in the wintertime, you could take your sleds or whatever and go down the hill. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, yeah. Well, my brother decided that he was going to take his go-kart down there. And he crashed and burned pretty much. And when his friends brought him home, he was blood from head to toe. I remember that. But I thought it was really cool because he brought all his friends over. So all the boys were, hanging out in the house. And I was just sitting there, with all the boys, just being my sweet self, me, just being me. What's up, dude? No, they didn't say dude then. No, he had to be. That was one thing. Growing up with having a pool, my sisters and I, we had our day to have our friends in the pool, girls' day, and then then my brothers. But my mother would not allow us all to be in the pool together with the boys. You know what I'm saying? Because she said they could, give us cooties. So you don't want to be in
that's how you end up pregnant, swimming in the same pool as a boy.
So that was
I ended up with a kid.
It was all the girls or all the boys, but she would never let us all, besides, of course, me and my brother and stuff. But we weren't allowed to be in the pool at the same time. So it's not something, we had the best childhood, didn't we?
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, you had to,
we just ran all day.
Yeah.
My parents would kick us out at sunup and tell us, don't come back till the streetlights come on. And we didn't have any streetlights. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
But we didn't have streetlights, but they would come out and holler at it. It was like, be back when you see the first star at night, be back. Or if you see a lightning bug, come home. Occasionally we'd hear somebody calling our names. Huh?
The lowrider bikes. Robert, are you still in the chat? Robert and Ryan built they built these bikes, these lowrider bikes. And and they did it's pretty cool. In fact, even when I worked at Home Depot, there was actually a customer who made those for a living, and he'd sell them, and that's what he rode. He rode all over the neighborhood with these bikes, and
That's pretty
he
cool.
would build them and sell them. And yeah, and then I remember what else did we used to? We used to do a lot of rollerblading, but can't do that anymore. But I remember I used to rollerblade with the boys.
They didn't have rollerblades when I was a little kid.
I put my
But I had rollerblades until I got knocked off. I got hit by a truck and knocked off the seawall in Galveston. And then I gave my rollerblades to a kid down the street who wanted them, but because they were dangerous. But we had the old metal skates with the key, and you had to use the key to open up the clamps, and then you turn the key off. You wound it back up, and the clamps would come in and clamp on your shoe. Yeah, we had old metal roller skates. And
I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key.
And Walter said when he was 12 years old, he had a go-kart with a Vespa motor.
Yep.
And a 4-speed transmission and a clutch. Wow, it did 75 miles an hour back. That's fast. We took 4 kids in my neighborhood. We took all of our bikes, drilled holes in a 2x4, took the seats off and hooked all 4 bikes together with a 2x4 and then put the seats back on. So all 4 of us had to pedal the bikes together to pull a trash can lid with a kid sitting on it.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't have go-karts. We had to make our own little fancy things.
Yeah, Robert and Ryan used to build ramps for their bikes because they were doing, to jump the ramps with their on their bikes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then what they would do is they had the rollerblades, and they would find empty boxes or whatever and take the box, and they climb inside they would put the box over them and crouch down on the street, so it looked like they're riding a little car, and the friends were pushing because our street was kind of, went down a little bit, and all they had to do was push them, and Robert and Ryan would be cruising down the street, and they would be in that box, sitting in that box they make it like it was a little car. Funny as heck. But my boys were daredevils, that's for sure. With the rollerblades, they could rollerblade, do circles around me. Sometimes I'd be like, "Hey, don't forget about me," And they could do the ramps. They rollerblade on the ramps and stuff by the church at the church, and amazing. Yeah, they used to scare the crap out of me, but yeah, we had and that's what it is. They kept busy, building things.
Yeah.
And now the kids today, they don't know because they've got.
If they don't have a Game Boy, they don't have a life. I can't play a video game. I can't do anything. Yeah. That's what my grandson used to say. If I don't have a video game, I might as well die. He has no imagination.
Yeah. And we'd and I remember when we had our pool, and if I was mad at some of my friends or whatever, and I invite the other friends in the pool, and then the other friends would be standing outside the fence watching us in the pool. They weren't invited because it was such
funny. We didn't have our own swimming pool because it's expensive and it takes a lot of care, but we had a neighborhood pool, and it was lined up perfect so that it was a long pool, and when we took our 4 bikes that were all boarded together, and we would put them outside the gate and run a long rope to the other side of the pool and see if somebody could stand on they had these little kickboard things when you were learning how to swim. And we would see if they could hold the rope and stand on the kickboard, and we could drag them all the way across. But we had to get a lot of speed up on the bicycles to get them across the pool. So, yeah, we did some pretty nasty wipeouts with that little stunt.
Yeah, they'd all die without a phone. Yeah, I remember the slip and slide. That was a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, slip and slide. But then before slip and slide, what was our entertainment? The sprinklers. Yeah, put the sprinkler on in front of the house and jump in and out of the sprinkler. That was our entertainment, for outside our whatever is the is the sprinkler. That was, that was our thing. And and the Good Humor, when the Good Humor ice cream would come down the street. That was always fun. So what did Michelle say?
Randy's little nephew won't go anywhere without a tablet. It really makes her mad because when you go out to eat, the whole family gets their noses in their phone. I've got a
Yep.
picture of my daughter, my granddaughter, my grandson, and my daughter's husband. We're all sitting on the couch, and they're all like this on their cell phones. They're talking to each other.
Yeah, when I'd it got to where I would go to mom and dad's on the holiday, right? And we all had to take our phone. We came in, my dad made us put our phones down on the counter, and we were allowed to have our phones while we were sitting at the table or eating dinner. Well, even look at it. Remember at work when you would go in the break room, you actually had a conversation with everybody. You know, you could actually sit and talk to everybody. And now when the break room, right? Nobody even talks anymore. It's all there because everybody's on their everybody's on their phone. So yeah, it's it's kind of funny when you go to the antique stores now or whatever and see the wall phones that we grew up with, right? Or you go to the thrift stores and you find the dial phone.
Yeah, and you have to like dial a 9, and it was like dial the 9 and go.
Yeah.
Two. Yeah.
The kids don't even know what how to use I saw something something on TV where they were trying to ask somebody how to use this phone, and the girl did not know. She didn't know what to do with the phone,
Yeah, that's okay. My grandson saw an 8-track tape and said, "What video game system does this go on?"
Yeah.
He thought it was a video game. I'm like, "That's an 8-track tape, son. It was mine when I was, when I was your age. That was my 8-track tape." He's like, "What game system did you play it on?"
Yeah, and they're like, "What's a phone?" And now they're like, "What's a phone book?" Right?
Yeah, what's a phone book? They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, and I'm so old school. I still use index cards. I go to the dollar store and I buy index cards, and I write all my notes and stuff on index cards. I've got so much in my phone now. It's like because everybody says, "Oh, I got it on my phone." I'm like, no. I write a lot of my stuff. That's why I keep a journal every day, and I encourage everybody to start writing a journal. Just get up in the morning. It helps my mind, everything, I write down the date, everything, and just write how my day was, and then I can look back from last year maybe and see what I was doing the same. I'm like this year, like today, I can look back and say, "Oh, I did that. That's right. I did this last year. It was snowing by then, or this or that." And I always write something positive in it every day. I write a positive thing, and it helps. It really helps. And I just want to encourage everybody, to do that.
Michelle said she saw a girl stick her phone in a cassette player and said it wasn't charging her phone.
Oh gosh,
that's funny.
Oh my gosh, 8-track was great. Yeah, I had a bunch of them. Yeah. What did Walter say about the boats and stuff? He had something in
no air conditioning back when we were kids. There wasn't a lot of air conditioning, and most people didn't have it. So water was the way. That's how you cooled off. Beach and river water, and skiing, boats and V8 power, more speedaholics. Yeah. We had a boat when I was growing up. We always went out every weekend. We went out in the boat and went into the Gulf of Mexico and fished and had family day and got out of the boat someplace and picnicked and then got back in the boat and went back home. And
my dad loved to. My dad was an avid fisherman, and so now my boys are kind of following his footsteps, right? But my dad always fished for walleye, And I remember I went fishing a couple times with them, and yeah, it was pretty, and it was cool. And then my dad had a fishing buddy, and I know they're up in heaven right now fishing together. But they had they would come home and with their fish and all that, my dad would fillet the fish outside because my mom would let him do it in the house, the walleye. And my mom would get so mad at my dad when he come home because my dad'd be drunk, because
Yeah.
they're out on the boat all day.
Man.
But yeah, and Ryan and Robert's dad, they did a lot of camping and fishing when they were growing up. I wasn't. Robert knows I never was a big camper as such. I wasn't into camping. I would go once in a while, but most of the time I was always working weekends because I had just started my job at Home Depot in '87. So that means Robert was 7 and Ryan was like 5. So, I waited till I was fortunate to be able to stay home with them. And then when they started school, then I went, decided to go to work. But yeah, I really I enjoyed this show.
Yeah, it's been fun. This has got to be the best generation alive because when I was born, when I was a little kid, there was no computers, there was no cell phones, there weren't game systems. We had to have a good imagination. We had to have the skill of socialization. Now we've seen the computers come and the phone. I mean, a lot of houses didn't have phones when I was a little kid. So there were families you couldn't call them on the phone, on the wall phone. Now everybody's walking around with these little tiny cell phones. My first computer I worked on was called a Wang 2200, which I laughed my head off when I heard the name because it was like, you know what a Wang is. But it was a huge. It was
That's funny. You don't hear that word very often.
I know, but that was the name of the computer. I worked at NASA, and I was in the space AutoCAD program. So I was helping to design. I was doing the blueprints and stuff for the shuttle back then. Yeah. They hired me before I even finished college, and I worked on that Wang 2200. And it was a room that was 100 feet wide and 100 feet long. This big, huge square room that nobody got to go in unless they put on the white lint suits. And you had to go. There was 2 doors. You went in the first door, and you closed it behind you, and it blew everything off. And then you went in the second door, and it gave you a vacuum and sucked everything off. And then you went inside the room with the computer, and there were these giant reels running tapes, reel-to-reel tapes and stuff. And on the outside of that, there was a big glass room. On the outside, there was computer desks all the way around, and they were dummy terminals. They didn't have any brains in those terminals. You just typed your questions into the dummy terminal. It went in, and the Wang 2200 did all the calculations and all the measurements and designs and sent them back. And you didn't have a screen. You just had a blank. You had like a typewriter and this big, huge box of paper that was never ending, right? And you could rip the pages apart. They were perforated, but it would come up out of the box in folds, and it just, just fed up and fed through the printer, and you didn't have a screen. You had to get your sheet off the printer and read it all, and then you had to do calculations and that was a crazy thing. And now I've got this in my hand. That'll do. It's more powerful than that Wang 2200. It's just crazy. And we went from total freedom as kids. Get out of the house, get out from under my feet. I'm doing house cleaning. Go away, come back at dark, and then you come. Now it's like everything. Everybody has everything. There's the internet. You can talk to people on the other side of the world. It's crazy now.
Yep. I took in high school or junior high or high school, we had home economics. And so I remember taking the home economics class, and you learned how to cook and you learned how to sew. And so I had homework, so I had to make certain things at home, So my brothers were my guinea pigs, So I make them stuff and I make them eat it because I wanted them to try out my new cooking, and
Yeah.
yeah. And then we also had sewing, and I had to make. I made in the sewing class. I made a nightgown, and I definitely am not a seamstress, and nor will I ever be. And then I made this little a matching set, which I think I got a B on it, because they grade you. Um, the nightgown, not so much. It was a flannel nightgown, but I had the matching. It was a brown skirt and a little vest, a matching vest, and I had to. That was our sewing class, and I hated it.
Mm.
I hated it.
Yeah,
So,
they don't even have that class in the schools anymore. There's not homemaking.
no.
I don't know if there's homemaking, but there's not sewing or anything like. So Walter agreed. He said we're the best generation. Great music, films, actors, foods, cooking. We just knew how to have fun.
Yep.
So it was, and then Jade agreed with Walter, and then, and so Michelle said, where she said she got bullied as a kid, and Jade
You're
said,
right, Jade.
bully
Bully
suck.
suck is
And
right.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, Michelle. I was bullied as a kid too. I was a misfit. I've always been a misfit. That's just it. That's the way it is.
When I was in school, I was kind of like pretty shy. But once you got to know me, then. But yeah, I was always real.
I was always in trouble.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I was never in trouble. I was a perfect angel.
Well, that's the thing. I have to tell you to turn the light down on your halo when you come on the show because it's shining so bright.
No, I have to admit, I was always in trouble. I started to say I was never in trouble, and then I ducked because I was afraid I was going to get struck by lightning for lying so bad. But yeah, I was always into something.
Michelle said she learned to cook at 10 years old. Yeah, I can't imagine. I don't remember cooking a whole lot when I was growing up. I think my mom would let me, near the. I remember, like my sis and I, we had to do the dishes every night, and that was a thing. You cleared off the table, and and then we got a dishwasher, but we would put our I have to put the stuff in the dishwasher. Well, sometimes my sister, she'd make me really mad because I'd be like doing the dishes and I'd turn around and she's like, bye. And she'd run out the door, and we used to go at it. Oh my God. I used to get so mad at her because, so now the funny thing is staying with mom and dad. There was some times where my mom would be doing the dishes, and I'd want to help her, and she'd get, no, you don't know how to do the dishes. I don't need no help. I don't need no help. And I'm like, Mom, why didn't you say that when I was growing up?
Yeah.
Now you tell me I don't
do them bad on purpose. But my mom, if I did something wrong on purpose, she'd just make me do it. Those dishes are not clean. Go back in there. Yeah. And she would take all the dishes and put them in the sink and dump soap all over them and say, do it again. And you're going to keep washing them till you get. I was 5 when I started washing dishes, and I was 5 when I started learning how to cook. And so when I was 5 years old at Thanksgiving time, it was my job to candy the sweet potatoes. And we didn't buy the cans. Wow. We bought the whole sweet potatoes, and I had to peel them, and I had to chop them up, and then I got all the ingredients together, and I would have to stand there on my little stool next to the stove and keep stirring it nonstop until it started to thicken. Yeah, so that was my first job.
He would starve. He said, nope, I would starve.
See, everybody should know how to cook, at least cook a peanut butter sandwich.
I'm a skillet queen. I can do my skillet, and I don't like to cook. So both of when the kids were growing up, I did all the cooking pretty much. But my second husband or whatever, he barbecued, did all the barbecuing. He did mostly all the cooking. But Well, of course, Arizona, right? In the summer it was too hot to cook and, try to cook stuff in the house. So it was always a barbecue, whatever. But I have a skillet, or I have a slow cooker, or I have my George Foreman, and that's it. I don't have a what's it called, a air fryer. Maybe I'll get one for Christmas. I don't know.
I don't
But
have an air
just what
fryer.
I need is another appliance to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
I
So-
have a toaster oven, a microwave, and a pressure cooker.
There you
I
go.
don't have an oven in my RV, so I have
Yeah.
a little toaster oven. Yeah, I don't have, but I can cook, and I can barbecue just fine. So I guarantee you, I don't go
Good.
hungry. I got cans of tuna fish, and they're easy to cook. You just take the can opener, screw it around the can,
Yeah.
the water out, take the lid off, and eat it with a fork. That's the good kind of cooking.
Yeah. Well, I always knew growing up, like on Saturdays, my mom on Saturdays we had hamburgers for dinner or whatever. Always on Saturdays. But if mom and dad were going out, then it was a can of SpaghettiOs. So
Wow.
open up a can of SpaghettiOs, and that was our
no.
dinner, because she knew we were, they were going out or whatever. So
Sorry, Walter, but Michelle is married to Randy. From I picked that up in the chat already. So tell your
poor
friend Walter that Michelle is married. Sorry, Walter. Sorry to your friend.
Well, let's go ahead and go through the chat real quick and say goodnight to everybody, because Bill H is now.
People are getting tired. John Wayne already
okay.
signed off.
Thank you
and
so
Bill's
much.
Gotta go.
Okay, go ahead and go through the chat real quick.
Okay, good night, Bill H. Thank you for coming in. Good night, Jade. Thank you for stopping by. Take care of yourself, you and Eric both. And thank you, Eric, also for coming in. John Wayne already left. We're glad he came. Good night, John Wayne, if you can still hear us. Good night, Scuba. Good night, Louise. And we're so happy that all of you have stopped by. Good night, Michelle. Good night, Scott L.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by.
Scott.
Thank you, Karen Up, for coming. And good night. Good night, Walter. Good morning, Walter. Priority. Nice, sweet little Aussie. Glad you came by today. And good night, Greg Laney. And also good night, Robert Michaels. And good night, Paramom.
Yes. So what shows do we got going on all week? Because I always have
tomorrow night is Scuba Vapes at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock Eastern time, right? And then 7 o'clock my time. So 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Fun time. Yes.
Yeah. So don't miss Scuba Vapes, and then not so little. Okay, Walter. And then Tuesday night is Shane Robbins. Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane on Tuesday night with No Filter.
Yep.
And Wednesday night is the lovely Just Wanna Fly Jade. And then we're back to Thursday night where you gotta put up with us nuts again.
I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day.
I touched it this morning in my paramotor. And I did. Someday I'll have to tell you about the clouds. I got stuck above the clouds and I couldn't see the ground. So I'll tell you about that someday.
Oh yeah. We'll have to get that one on the next one.
Yeah.
So my lovely pair of peeps, all my friends, I love you so much.
Yep.
The word of the night was appreciate. Go out, share that smile, share that laugh, let people know you appreciate them, because somebody might need that. Somebody might need that smile. Somebody might need that prayer. Please, just be kind. Be kind. Just that's what it is. Just be kind. And that's why we all get together on Thursday nights, and you never know where the conversation is going to go. And I just love you all so much. Thank you for the Friendship Award, Susan Ray. Karen Up, it was so lovely to see you in the chat. I missed you. Say hello to Steve for me. I love you guys bunches. Go out and have a great weekend.
Before you close the show, we had 12 chatters. We got 14 likes. So thank you everybody for hitting the
Yes.
thumbs
Thank
up.
you from the bottom of my heart.
And Walter, I'm only tip touching if I lose control of the wing. So no, I don't tip touch on purpose, but maybe someday, but I'm not.
That would freak. If I was up in the air and somebody did that when I was tandeming, that would freak me out.
Oh yeah, tip touching up in the air. I don't do that yet because most of the time I'm flying on a weekday, and most of the people are not flying on the weekdays. They're mostly flying on the weekends.
Yeah.
So no, I haven't done a tip touch yet. I almost did on my cross country trip, but
It's funny that you talk about that because Joe Adele, if you're listening, me and Joe were chatting, and he was saying about talking about that, the tip touching.
yeah, this morning one of the guys learning how to. He got his wingtip all the way down on the ground and was dragging it. It almost flipped him before he shut it off. But so that's what I was thinking of. But Walter means tip touching up in the air like this. But I haven't done that yet.
Well, we're gonna get Scuba after his fly-in, and the I forgot the name of it again. That maybe after his fly-in, I'll get him on here. He'll be a guest, and he can talk about that fly-in some night. So, you guys, if you got any ideas, you got a guest. If you want to be a guest tonight and jump in the studio with us, just DM me and say, "Hey, I wanna hang out with you guys in the studio for the night." And you can be the what do you call the VIP of the night or something, the very important person or something.
Yep.
You could just hang in.
And if you're too shy to stay on the whole show, you can pop in, do your little bit, and pop back out. We're not gonna make you stay for the whole time if you don't want to, or if you're busy.
Yeah.
So
look at Greg Laney. Greg Laney, he was a pro on there last week or whatever.
And time flew.
That was fun.
He didn't realize that it was that long.
So this was fun. I'm gonna let you all go. Please be safe. Like I said, give it prayer. Somebody might need it. Give that smile. Give them that laugh. Just, gosh, what was the one thing I had in Facebook about the frog being at the bus stop, and the frog broke down at the bus stop, and so he had to be towed.
Okay.
So I gotta save that one for Shane's show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking up little riddles. I'm gonna write them down on the paper, and then when we have a show, I can open up it. But next week, maybe we'll put our heads together for like a little contest or something, so we can give away a sticker next week. So we'll be working on that. So thank you so much.
Love you guys.
Be safe. Much love. Yes.
Now hit
the hard thing. I never do it right. So because my little fingers. Thank you so much. Thanks, Michelle. Love you bunches. Love you all. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Right
see
here.
you next week.
Much love. Bye. We're gonna end it. End stream.